Welcome again to Curated Radio. I'm joined as usual by my two colleagues, Professor John Reed and Matt Ingham. There's going to be a lot of talking from John Reed today, so be prepared. We've got some great box sets coming out, and we're going to kick off straight away with John talking about You're No Big Deal.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, I mean, our compilations, we've been doing them now for 15 years or so, and they're still, we keep going strong. I would say this month we're going to start with 3 American-themed compilations. The first, and they're all about stories, capturing an era, and the ones that really tell a story of an iconic moment in rock history. And I would say that grunge and the whole Seattle boom of the late 80s, early 90s would count as such a thing. And that's the subject of You're No Big Deal, compiled by no less immortal than Mark Arm from Mudhoney, who really were the kind of year zero grunge group. The brief is broader than just grunge. It's grunge, alternative rock and beyond. There's bands from Australia on this. But it's an excellent compilation that includes bands like Sonic Youth and the Pixies and so on. And from that compilation, you're going to hear 2 tracks, Dinosaur Jr.'s Little Fury Things, or Little Furry Things, depending on your point of view, and Hole's Teenage Whore.
Try to think what's over me makes me
You just heard 2 tracks from a new Grunge and Beyond, or Grunge adjacent box set, You're No Big Deal. Little Fury Things from, I think, 1987 by Dinosaur Jr. I think that's from their album You're Living All Over Me. And Hole's Teenage Show, and obviously Hole were quintessential part of the grunge scene. I guess running alongside, one of the things about grunge was that it was an antidote to the where heavy metal had got to in America. And that's also the subject of another compilation called Young and Wild, which I guess is glam metal or hair metal, and it's the groups in the 80s that I suppose were inspired by the bad behaviour and sort of rock and roll licks of bands like Motley Crue. And in due course were inspired originally by Kiss. And from Young and Wild, we're going to hear Kiss with Lick It Up. That was Lick It Up by Kiss from a new US 80s glam 3 CD, Young and Wild.
Did you ever see Kiss live, John?
I didn't know. Were they good?
I did, and they were fantastic.
I saw Dinosaur Jr. live,
Okay.
but not Kiss. No, I have to say glam metal wasn't my cup of tea. Much more my brew would be the subject of I Want to Be a Teen Again, which is 80s power pop. So you're getting really different flavours of alternative music, really, from America, from the 80s and early 90s with these. This is compiled by an Australian guy called Dave Lang. And I guess, this follows a similar set we did on Grapefruit a couple of years ago, which was very well received with bands like Big Star and so on. So I Want to Be a Teen Again picks up the story, as I say, at the start of the 80s, after the sort of punk and new wave boom. And from I Want to Be a Teen Again, we have 2 tracks, The Ramones with My Kind of Girl, and Let's Make It Tonight by the Rubinoos.
When I saw you on its streets, you could make my life go
You had 2 tracks from a new and another 3 CD set on Cherry Red. I Want to Be a Teen Again, the subject of which is basically 80s US power pop. The Ramones in mellower mood with My Kind of Girl, and the Rubinoos with Let's Make It Tonight. Okay, so after 3 North American themed comps, back to the UK. Tail end of the 60s, lots of bands trying different styles. Some went out and out psychedelic route, or some went more into later on progressive rock, symphonic sounds. Some of the bands that came out of the mid-60s mod scene stuck really with that kind of R&B vibe. So it was still inspired by Black America, and but then took that sound somewhere else. That is the subject of a new compilation called Feelin Alright, which includes a number of acts who really are from the sort of psychedelic and progressive era, but like the Traffic, who are the band behind the title track, Feelin Alright, had more of a soulful vibe, really, that sort of betrayed their mid-60s mod roots. And from that compilation, we have Marking Time by the wonderful Terry Reid.
who sadly left us recently.
That's right, yes. He'd been a
Very
fixture
sad.
on, was it San Francisco he used to play, I think, or LA? He always used to play in a particular bar every night. And of course, he had a chance to join, well, I don't know if he had a chance to join Led
He
Zeppelin.
was
I think
invited to join Led Zeppelin.
That's right, he was, yeah. And wasn't he also maybe asked to join the Doors at some point after Jim Morrison died? I might have made that up. But Terry Reid, like Stevie Winwood from Traffic and Steve Marriott, who's also on Feelin Alright, had one of those great blue-eyed soul voices. And sad thing I think about Terry is he never quite enjoyed the success that he clearly deserved. Anyway, that was Marking Time by Terry Reid from Feelin Alright. So that's the fourth of the compilations. We've got more of those later, but in the meantime, I'm going to hand over to Matt to talk about music of a more contemporary hue.
Thanks, John. Yeah, I'd like to introduce two songs by Jim Bob. First is Lovers Rock from the new album Stick, and the second is Can You Hear Us at the Back of the Hall from the new album Automatic.
In the amusements arcade, over by the slots, he got down on one knee with a ring in a box. He would have written a poem, but he didn't have the chops. Lovers rule, lovers cool, lovers rock. They first met on a crossing between Calais and Dover. He was 2 hours wasted, she was 15 years sober. They went up on the deck as the white cliffs drew closer. Lovers rule, lovers cool, lovers rock. She did her sums, perhaps he seen the little flash. He had cheese and onion crumbs in his beard and moustache. They exchanged their details just like drivers in a crash. The next time they met was between two London parks, on the Mall Green ends and St. James's stars. He was holding his hands in the shape of a heart. Lovers rule, lovers cool, lovers rock. They renewed their vows in 2010. She was still sober, he was drinking again. For the sake of the children, they'd get there in the end. Lovers rule, lovers cool, lovers rock. When the kids were all grown, they were alone in the flat. Just her and her knees, and him with his back. Then a series of transient, ischemic attacks. Lovers rule, lovers cool, lovers rock. She wouldn't let him go into a home without her. They had the bedroom moved downstairs and they stayed where they were. They talked a lot about the past because the rest was just a blur. The music that she'll choose will be Ken Booth and Johnny Mathis. Sometimes she'll cry when she sees crisps on men with moustaches, or when picking out the wood and scattering its ashes. Lovers rule, lovers cool, lovers rock. It was a cold day in autumn, there was a new president. She held hands with her daughter and they watched as he went into the wind and the water between Calais and Kent. Lovers rule, lovers cool, lovers rock. Kalicia's gonna change the world with a band. Can you hear us at the back of the hall? Their logo is ironically Comic Sans. People say the music sounds like the Fall, the Clash and the Jam, the Pistols, the Damned, the Who and the Stones, the Kinks, the Ramones. But what do they know? Kalicia's setting up on an empty stage, waiting for a public to come. The salmon's telling her of a golden age. When our parents and our teachers were young, they had the Cure and the Smith, Johnny Marr's wrist, the cramps and the pose, the teardrop explodes. But what does he know? But what do they know? Kalicia's in a coffee shop reading reviews, but can you hear us at the back of the hall? The 4 and 5 stars are kind of good news, but the journalists don't get it at all. They're saying squeeze and T-Rex and X-ray specs, the pastels and pill, a bikini kill. NWA and Marvin Gaye, Sparkle Hall and the Beatles of course. They're saying Bowie and Prince and Sneaker Pimps, Eels and the Shins, Paul McCartney and Wings, Paul McCartney and Wings. Songs, cocktail tune, Sonic, orange juice, the Gaussian wire, Alexa song, Talking Heads, Mercury Ray, of Noise. Rain comes from dead boys, gang of four, so many more.
That was 2 tracks from Jim Bob off his latest 2 albums. Quite interesting, he released 2 albums in one day. It's probably not the first time it's been done, and probably won't be the last time, but we do love Jim Bob, so good on him. And now
it's not the greatest marketing move, but that's, as you say, that's the way.
No, artistically it worked very well.
And that's
then
how we are at Cherry.
Exactly.
We let the artists do what they want much as we can.
Yeah, we like to let the artist flourish as much as possible. So now I'm going to pass over to Ian.
Well, I've got an interesting track to play here, and I was working through the one of those free CDs you get with Uncut Magazine, and I always play them to see what's on there, anything interesting. And this one was all based around Robert Plant, and there's one track that really stuck with me, which is Robert Plant and the Sensational Space Shifters. So let me play it first. It's called Embrace Another Fall.
I often think of you, but all through the frost and rain, I make my home.
That was Embrace Another Fall by Robert Plant and the Sensational Space Shifters. And in an interview that I saw recently, he was saying that since he left Zeppelin, that was his most powerful song to perform live. It was taken from a 2014 album called Lullaby and The Ceaseless Roar. And he said the personality of his backing band, the Sensational Space Shifters, flooded the stage when performing it. Okay, we've got a really chunky box set, which we've just put out, which is basically the best of Toya, the best of her over her career, really. The band 1979 to 83, and then solo 85 to 24, and then Rare 80 to 24, and then there's a Blu-ray disc as well. And of course, we've been involved with Toya, looking after her early catalogue. It's a 4 CD set, and I want to play a track, and what I'm going to play is I Want to Be Free, which came out originally in 1981 and got to number 8 in the British charts. was Toya and I Want to Be Free from her new box set, Best of Toya, called actually Chameleon. And I think you'll like it if you work your way through that.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, sticking with that, I suppose Toya had a heyday in the early 80s. A band that I was really a big fan of at that time were the Pale Fountains from Liverpool, who I always kind of put in the same camp as Orange Juice from Scotland. Similar, I suppose, twee, but I don't mean that in a critical way. Quite ornate twee, late 60s, maybe influenced sound. Pale Fountains in particular, I think, were big fans of Love's Forever Changes. Well, I know they were, because later on as Shaq, they backed Arthur Lee when he came to the UK. Anyway, I digress. New box set that finally takes all of the Pale Fountains Virgin recordings from the early to mid-80s, 2 albums, plus lots of extras. In fact, a whole raft of unreleased recordings across 2 of the 4 CDs. Yeah, new compilation. Think we already sold out of our first print run, so grab them while you can. From that new box set, which I think is just called The Complete Virgin Years, this is Just a Girl, which was a re-recording of their first ever B-side, Pre-Virgin. That was Just a Girl, the Virgin version of their very first B-side by the Pale Fountains from a new 4-CD set from the much-loved Liverpool band. Do you know what? Let's play another Pale Fountains track because they're such a personal favourite. This is actually my favourite of theirs. It's called Gene's Not Happening, which was the single from their second album, and I think their best, From Across the Kitchen Table. So this is Gene's Not Happening by Pale Fountains.
Sometimes I think that we're like a big game of snakes and ladders. And you said jokingly, my new name was repetition. But come on, what's that feeling? Competition. Gene's not happening no more. She's
That was Pale Fountains' Gene's Not Happening, a little bonus track for you fans out there. Okay, well, we're sort of sticking with Liverpool for the first track from the next compilation. The title of this new 3 CD on Grapefruit is called All Things Bright and Beautiful, and it tells the story of the late 60s UK pop explosion, prompted in no small part by the launch of Radio 1 in 1967, which kind of tilted the whole landscape of pop music, because prior to that, British pop really wasn't heard on mainstream radio, and Radio 1 was launched as to counteract all the pirate radio stations that were broadcasting off the shores of the UK. And the first track, to get back to Liverpool, from that compilation we're going to hear is Friends by Arrival, followed by Love Affair with Bringing On Back the Good Times.
since you went away. I've been losing my sleep at night. Never thought there'd come a day and you'd be back to make everything right. But how wrong could I be? 'Cause now you're here with me, bringing on back the good times, taking
So you heard 2 tracks from a new compilation called All Things Bright and Beautiful on Grapefruit, which tells the story of UK pop from 1967 to 69. I should say a lot of the tracks make their debut on CD. Friends by Arrival, which was a top 10 hit, and Bringing On Back the Good Times by The Love Affair. Wasn't that written by our old friend Philip Goodhand Tate? I think it might well have been, you know.
Yeah, I saw the band was Steve Ellis, Morgan Fisher, Maurice Bacon on drums.
Yeah, and Steve Ellis lives not far from where my dad grew up in Portslade. There we go. Lovely fella. And another of those great blue-eyed soul voices, Steve Ellis, no doubt. Okay, back to you, Ian, to chat about Cats in Space.
Yes, well, I've heard about Cats in Space now from a few sources over the last few months. They've been going, actually a few years. I think 2015 they've been going since. And we put out a new album, which did pretty well a few months ago. And we're now working through their catalogue. And we have a new box set called Chapter 1 by Cats in Space. And it has the first 3 studio albums and a live album. And the track I'm going to play is Thunder on the Night. That was Thunder on the Night by Cats in Space. Great name, actually, for a band, Cats in Space. And then there's Jack Bruce. Now, Jack Bruce is someone I saw play in various guises over the years. Obviously, he was most famous for being in Cream. You could say he was a troubled man in one way, but a real genius, without a doubt. And we put out an enhanced version of Harmony Row, which is his third album, which originally came out in July 1971. And I've played this album a lot over the past few weeks. And I did actually play a track in the last show, but I wanted to play another track, and this is Morning Story by Jack Bruce. was Morning Story by Jack Bruce from the album Harmony Row. And this is a little tidbit of information. The album title, Harmony Row, was taken from a tenement street in Glasgow near where Jack Bruce grew up. And the street, since demolished, was famous as the longest unbroken house row in Europe, stretching for over a mile. So there you go. I'm now going to pass you back to the evergreen John Reid.
Thanks, and I'm going to make a rather clumsy link between Jack Bruce and the next artist whose music we're going to play, Pete Brown. Because some of you will know that Pete Brown wrote lyrics for Cream back in the late 60s. And, of course, Jack Bruce was their bassist and singer. A new box set on Esoteric remembers the output of Pete Brown. He was a really interesting character, a lyricist, but also a poet, a musician, a songwriter, really multifaceted character, very much at the artistic end of the spectrum. And anyway, from this new Esoteric box set, you can hear Station Song Platform 2.
Stations that sleep in the cold. Nights were so cold. Old times ring out the chimes I used to hear. And no point in saving what's left of the love for clouds up above. See the faces that dance in the glass. The lights chase them past each other. Walking with people that came from the sky. Better to try. Under the candles that cry in their cage, tears were all the rage. Strange times broke up the rhymes I used to know, and no point in keeping the last of the wine for years in decline. See the faces that dance in the flames, playing their games with each other. And talking to people who came from the stars, and driving their car. Chase them past each other. Walking with people that fell from the sky. Better to try.
That was Station Song Platform 2 from the new Pete Brown box set, which includes recordings from across his career in various guises. I'm not sure Pete Brown is specifically progressive rock, but the next act most assuredly are. Andromeda were formed by a number of people, but John Buchan was at the heart of the group. Out of the roots, the ashes, I should say, of 60s mod band The Attack. And Andromeda threatened to be famous. They weren't, but made a couple of records that are now highly collectible, very much in their kind of sort of, I suppose, proto-heavy metal, that the sort of groups that Grapefruit Records have highlighted on their best-selling I'm a Freak Baby compilations. So sort of a bit like Black Sabbath, yeah, proto-metal, heavier end of psychedelia and early progressive rock. So this new compilation of Andromeda has been a painstaking exercise by the curator David Wells, because a number of rare tracks have been exhumed by John Buchan down the years, and they were sort of riddled with confusion, and the story really was a bit of a mess. And David's done a fantastic job tidying it up and presenting something that actually makes sense, which is why perhaps we've chosen the song Return to Sanity as the choice from said box set on Grapefruit. That was Return to Sanity, all 8 minutes of Andromeda goodness from the new box set. Another compilation, this time on Strawberry. We flit across the Atlantic once again. The title is Rolling and Tumbling. And the subject of this is electric blues, which melds, I suppose, the boom in white rock-based blues, exemplified by the likes of Mike Bloomfield and co. In the late 60s, and I guess Canned Heat and their ilk, with the black American artists, some of whom, like Howlin' Wolf, had obviously been plying the boards since the 50s or maybe even from before, and soul artists who turned their hand to the blues. We're going to hear 2 tracks from Rollin' and Tumblin'. First of all, Captain Beefheart and his magic band with the mighty Sure Enough, Yes I Do. Sure Enough and Yes I Do, I should say. Followed by the late great Aretha Franklin with the self-explanatory Why I Sing the Blues.
I was born in the desert, came on up from New Orleans. Came upon a tornado, sunlight in the sky. I wheel around all day with the moon sticking in my eye. Hey, 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 all you young girls, wherever you're at, I got a brand new Cadillac, got a Ferrari too. Sure enough, baby, sure enough, yes, I do. Got the time to teach you now that you learn some chill. Got the time to teach you now that you learn some chill. Sure enough, baby, sure enough, yes, I do. Hey, 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 all you young girls, whatever you do. Hey, 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 all you young girls, whatever you do. Well, come on by and see me, I'll be waiting to you.
They've asked me why I sing the blues. Everybody wants to know now why I keep crying the blues. Well, I've been around a little while, and I've paid some dues. Yes, I have. People laying in ghetto flats, cold and numb, looking at roaches, telling bad folks to move over and give them some. Oh, it's tight in here. That's one reason I'm singing the blues, yeah. Been around a long time. God knows I paid a few dues. Yes, I have. Stood in line at the county hall. Heard a man say we're gonna build some high-rises for y'all.
You just heard 2 tracks from a new 3 CD set on Strawberry Records, Rollin' and Tumblin', devoted to electric blues from the late 60s and early 70s, Captain Beefheart with Sure Enough and Yes I Do, and Why I Sing the Blues by the mighty Aretha Franklin. A 60s group that you may not have heard of are the Outer Limits, who only made 3 singles at the time, or if that actually, and they're possibly most famous because they were a breeding ground for Jeff Christie, who then went on to have some success as Christie with the likes of Yellow River. Any fan of 60s mod bands like the Small Faces and the Who will love the Outer Limits, and from a new 2 CD compilation that includes a raft of unreleased recordings is Sweet Freedom, which was a single they put out, I believe, in 1969.
Never thought I would find peace of mind. Things are so different now. I have found I was fine with my pride. Everything was strange to me. Something all the money in the world could never buy, and that is sweet freedom. I've got sweet freedom, and there is nothing you can do or say to change my mind. I never eyes before, now I see. I never saw the light before, now I'm free. Yes, I'm free, and I see I have changed in many ways. Something inside that was denied. It took me some time to realize that I've got sweet freedom. I've got sweet freedom, and that is something all the money in the world could never buy. And that is sweet freedom. You know I've got sweet freedom, and there is nothing you can do or say. There is nothing you can take away. Yes, there's nothing you can do or say to change my mind.
That was Sweet Freedom by Outer Limits featuring Jeff Christie, a new 2 CD set on Strawberry. Regular observers of all things Cherry Red will know that, well, let's be honest, we've released a lot of Hawkwind gear down the years, but there's always room for another. And earlier this year, we released a humongous deluxe version of Hawkwind's 4th album, Hall of the Mountain Grill from 1974. Some fans reckon it's their finest. It signalled a change of lineup. Robert Calvert was no longer involved, but Lemmy was in the mix. And this is an 8-disc or 9-disc set, 8 CDs, or rather 7 CDs, a Blu-ray, and 2 Blu-rays of various concerts and recordings around that historic year. But we're going to start where it all began with the opening track, the mighty psychedelic warlord Disappear in Smoke, written by Dave Brock. From our new Uber Deluxe edition of Hawkwind's 1974 classic Hall of the Mountain Grill, you just heard Psychedelic Warlords Disappear in Smoke, the fully fledged album version. And there are a number of editions available, but the 9-disc version is obviously not for the faint-hearted. Okay, regular listeners will know that a number of years ago we bought the T-Chest tapes, the mythical 1,800 or so reels of Joe Meek Productions from the 60s, and the latest compilation of finds from that haul is Joe Meek, A Curious Mind, and I guess it's the first of the compilations we've done. This is a 3 CD that just focuses on Meek himself and tries to sort of take a peek behind the curtains of 304 Holloway Road and the more peculiar and eccentric elements, even by Joe Meek's standards, of his output. So you've got a lot of tracks obsessed with science fiction, horror, his brief dalliances with the likes of country and western. So it's a real mixed bag, but it kind of really highlights the remarkably eccentric nature of Joe Meek's output. And from it, we're going to focus on 2 tracks. I've listened to 2 tracks. The first is Skymen, which is one of the best sci-fi related or space age tracks by Jeff Goddard, who really was Joe Meek's right-hand man. He was so important. I don't think Meek would have had anything like the success without Jeff's songwriting skills and other support. So Skymen by Jeff Goddard, a very highly regarded single, followed by Jack the Ripper, which was very nearly a hit for the larger-than-life character that is Screaming Lord Sutch.
My darling, we saw in the sky a flashing light, me and my darling. And as it hovered overhead, and as the sun was turning red, we heard a voice, and that voice said, children of earth, be not afraid. We come in peace. Skymen, Skymen, where do you come from? Where are
copper, be not afraid. All we got is peace. Skymen, skymen, where do you come from? Where are you going to, skymen?
The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. There's a man walks the streets of London late at night. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. With a little black bag that's oh so tight. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. He's got a big black cloak hanging down his back. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. Well, that's a one big cat that just hate to fight. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. Well, he walks down the street, and the girl he meets says, your name is Blau. Jack the Ripper, the Ripper, Jack the Ripper. When she walks down the street, he's never fall behind. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. With his little black bag and his one-track mind. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. Well, he really catches up when the lights go down. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. 'Cause that's the time he starts his dirty shop around. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. Well, he walks down the street, every girl he meets says, your name is Blanc. Jack the Ripper, the Ripper, Jack the Ripper. Scotland Yard will never catch him, 'cause he's a much too clever. He's much too clever. But if they do, a man will get the leather, yeah. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper, the Ripper, Jack the Ripper. With the streets of London kind of never safe. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. Whenever Jack the Ripper ever shows his face. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. So you pretty little girlies take my advice. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. And don't walk the streets of London late at night. The Ripper, Jack the Ripper. Well, he walks down the street, every girl he meets says, your name is blah, blah. Jack the Ripper, the Ripper, Jack the Ripper.
You just heard two tracks from the new Joe Meek 3 CD from the THS tapes. The compilation is entitled A Curious Mind. Skymen by Jeff Goddard and Jack the Ripper, the debut single by Screaming Lord Sutch.
I should just say I'm remembering one time Screaming Lord Sutch came to visit us at Cherry Road in an old office. And he was quite a tall chap. And he came in and he had a fairly short boy in front of him who came into my office and announced, "This is Screaming Lord Sutch." So I would have no doubt who it was.
Brilliant. We should all have someone like that in front of us to take us, to introduce us in life. I think we'd all be a lot more confident as a result.
Yeah.
Excellent. And we're going to wrap up the show with yet another compilation. I'm sure most of you are aware of the recent Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown, which has been in cinemas for most of this year, really, off and on. And like most biopics, it's a little bit of a work of fiction, but we all went off to the cinema, and my daughter's a big fan of Timothée Chalamet anyway, so we all really enjoyed it, to be honest. And in the meantime, we were already working on a compilation of cover versions of Bob Dylan, and this mimics a similar package we did for the Beatles. And the concept is to only have one song by any particular artist, covered by a particular artist, and presented in chronological order as Dylan would have released them. And the compilation of Robert Zimmerman's songs is called I Shall Be Released. See what we did there? And you're about to hear Spanish Harlem Incident by the Byrds, followed by Wanted Man by Bob's old friend Johnny Cash.
Gypsy gal with hands of Harlem cannot hold you to its heat. Your temperature's too hot for taming. Your flaming feet are burning up the street. I am homeless, come and take me into the reach of your rattling drum. I gotta know, babe, all about my fortune down along my restless pond. Gypsy gal, you got me swallowed. I have fallen far beneath your pearly eyes, so fast and slashing, and your flashing diamond teeth. The night is pitch black, come and make my little face spin in the place I please. I gotta know, babe, I'm nearly drowning. If it's you, my lifeline strays. I've been wondering all about me ever since I seen you there on the cliffs of your wildcat charms. I'm riding, I know I'm round you, but I don't know where. You have slayed me, you have made me. I got to laugh halfway off my heels. I gotta know, babe, when you surround me, so I can know if I'm really real.
Wanted man in California, wanted man in Buffalo, wanted man in Kansas City, wanted man in Ohio, wanted man in Mississippi, wanted man in old Cheyenne. Wherever you might look tonight, you might see this wanted man. I might be in Colorado or Georgia by the sea, working for some man who may not know who I might be. And if you ever see me coming, and if you know who I am, don't you breathe it to nobody, cause you know I'm on the lam. Wanted man by Lucy Watson, wanted man by Jeannie Brown, wanted man by Nellie Johnson, wanted man in this next town. But I've had all that I wanted of a lot of things I've had, and a lot more than I needed of some things that turned out bad. Da, 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 da. I got sidetracked in El Paso, stopped to get myself a map, went the wrong way into Juarez with Juanita on my lap. Then I went to sleep in Shreveport, woke up in Abilene, wondering why the hell I'm wanted at some town halfway between. Wanted man in California, wanted man in Buffalo, wanted man in Kansas City, wanted man in Ohio. There's somebody set to grab me anywhere that I might be. So wherever you might look tonight, you might get a glimpse of me.
You just heard 2 tracks from a new 3 CD compilation on Strawberry entitled I Should Be Released. The songs of Bob Dylan, Spanish Harlem Incident by the Byrds, and Wanted Man by Johnny Cash.
And my Johnny Cash story is...
Go on.
I went actually to the second South by Southwest conference in Austin, Texas. And one afternoon I was having tea with somebody outside in the lawn, outside of a hotel. And who should sit down at the next table with somebody but Johnny Cash?
Did you talk to him?
And I was thinking, shall I go up and say hello? And no one else did. And I thought this would be so uncool. I didn't, but I looked at him.
Listen, sitting next to Johnny Cash, most of us never have that privilege. There we go. Well, on that high note, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the latest edition of Cherry Red Radio, and hopefully you'll tune in next time.